an off-road trail here, and it's technically in Arizona, even though we reached it from Utah, just near St. George. And this trail it goes by two different names. One is Elephant Arch Off-Road Trail, and the other one is Starvation Point. The more common one is Starvation Point, and that's because there is a bunch of folklore around why it's called that. Apparently, from the tales we have read online, it is these people would get up to this point and they couldn't get down, and by the time they got off they would die of starvation, or most likely I think it's probably dehydration because if there's basically no water, it's a desert environment. But anywho, we're gonna go up this trail. It's supposed to be a moderate, so we'll see how it is. Well, doesn't this sound fun? Starvation? Well, who doesn't want to see a trail that has starvation involved? So today we're welcoming you to the stunning and moderately challenging Starvation Point Off-Road Trail. And for the record, I had the name completely wrong. It's known as Elephants, Virgins and Things, and Starvation Point Off-Road Trail. And one of the highlights of it is it features the picturesque landscape of St. George, Utah, even though you're off-roading in Arizona. We do have to say that this trail is not for the faint of heart, but it does offer a mixture of beautiful scenery if you're so inclined to try it. The beginning of the trail is rather easy. You do have quite steep climb to get up and down some of these hills, so four-wheel drive might be required, but so far, nothing too serious. We were hooting and hollering, having a great old time until we saw something ahead. Passed by some signs, because apparently they've been doing some mining and gravel stuff around here, but it doesn't apply to the trail, so if you do this trail, just know it applies to where the trail used to start, not the new entrance. So you just don't want to go down that other area where the trail used to be. So far it's pretty cool. There's a lot of cactus and lots of desert stuff, and now we're about to go under a giant power line. So, yeehaw. As you can see, this trail is pretty easy, that being the first obstacle of the trail. That's really not that intimidating. Pretty much on this road, you encounter rugged terrain, some steep inclines, and occasional rocky obstacles. And the rocky obstacles get bigger and bigger as you go through the trail. So if you're in a regular SUV that doesn't really have four-wheel drive, you're not going to make it through the entire trail, but you could make it to some of the overlooks if you're willing to do some hiking. Trail's been a little bit rocky, but it's been easy. Very easy.
Transmission temperature soared to 174, but it stopped right there.
Yeah, it seems to be holding steady there. As far as like the difficulty level though, like we would take a Subaru, like our Subaru on it. You'd have to do it slow. You can't like obviously Baja over it like we are in the truck. But if you want to see this point, so far I don't see any reason that you can't, as long as you're careful with your tire placement. But
stock all-wheel drive / four-wheel drive.
I think so. Like it's really pretty back here. It's a different way to kind of view these canyons, and we're getting closer to the overlook. We did get a glimpse of the gorge from the top there for a little bit, so we should be getting close to at least the first overlook, and then we'll get to Starvation Point itself. modify our recommendation to not our Subaru. That was the harder way, but there's still another ledge on the other side. So I think if you're gonna do a Subaru, you're gonna want at least a wilderness. But yeah, I wouldn't take ours up that ledge.
The rough, rocky road seemed like it was gonna go on forever, but in the distance we could see the cliffs coming. But before we knew it, we were there at the first overlook.
Really cool spot. This isn't an official overlook as far as I know, but I'll have to look at our map. But as you can see the highway down there, and it's really neat perspective being above it. It's super cool. And then to the other side of the truck, you get a great view of the mountains near St. George. But that is pretty epic.
We quickly got back onto the trail so that we could get to the other overlooks.
Officially made it to Starvation Point. The one we showed you before was actually the Gorge Overlook, but we're gonna take a look at Starvation here. And yeah, oh, it's pretty cool. Let me turn it around. The last overlook, and it's pretty cool because you can get the kind of view of the gorge and kind of the St. George area, which is behind, and the river, so that's pretty cool. So let me turn it around.
As you can see, the views from this end of the trail are truly spectacular. Comment down below if you've ever done this trail. We'll see you next time.